Hello. So today I wanted to talk about depersonalization, and one of the things that probably used to bug me the most about anxiety and stuff was blushing. Not like even a cute blush, but just a fucking just red, just panicked death grip of a thing. I mean, it draws everybody's attention, and it just, man, it makes you feel like a just a bullseye for your own perception. But um, both of these things are awful. Depersonalization has always been super weird to me. It all kind of happened around the same time. Um, a while ago, after a bunch of different things in my life, it all happened at the same time. I think I just kind of broke. Um, and after that, I mean, everything just started to get weird. I'd look at people and not really know if they were real, not if I was real, and everything was hyper real, but at the same time it was fake. It's almost like everything was made out of clay and it was made out of my own imagination. It was very sharp angles. Everything's just kind of just weird. People look fucking weird, and it's like, some people always look the same, but you look at some people and they just morph and they change, and everything's just unsettling. Everything's just terrifying, especially in loud settings, and like cramped areas. I get way too much energy from other people and way too much stimulation. I just kind of blank out and kind of go somewhere else. Um, and I just like to put this because I'd like to see other people's feedback if they deal with the same thing and how that they've dealt with it. The blushing thing, it was so difficult for me for a long time. Um, because you can't really explain it to people how it feels. I mean, it's just overwhelming. It's terrible. It makes you want to just get swallowed up by the earth. Because especially if you're in a group of people and it happens, it doesn't even make sense to people. They look at you like, what's this dude's issue? You know what I mean? And maybe that's not what they actually think, but that's what I think of myself, and it makes it worse. But the only way, and I actually haven't dealt with it for a while now, it's been a lot better. I think the only way for me personally to get through it was to face it head on. Once I stopped running from what I was scared of, and once I started facing myself, and bearing my own cross, everything got easier to deal with because I accepted myself. The issue is, when I didn't accept myself, and I was afraid of what people thought of me. It was a reflection of who I thought I was to these people. Um, Sometimes you just got to face ourselves, and that's one of the hardest things to do. And I remember going through a blushing episode, and usually when it happened, I would be like, I gotta get the fuck out of here. So I'd dip, but when it happens now, I stay. And every single nerve, every fiber of my being says, run, because, your ego saying, you gotta get the fuck out of here. We're in jeopardy because people are gonna think differently of us. But at the end of the day, it's only what you think you think you are. You know what I mean? You just gotta get through it. That's the only advice I'd give to people, is get through that fear. And I used to, when it started, I used to abuse Xanax, and I used to get all fucked up, and I'd take tons of Xanax, and I was just so scared of how I felt. But I've been sober for Xanax for 3 years, and I've finally faced my anxiety and faced myself. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't touch pills, I don't do anything. It's been that way for years, and I mean, what's developed inside of me out of all that time and all these things have been tremendous thing. Thank God, and Spirit's been working through me, and it's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of hard work, and it's terrifying, but it really shows you who you are and what you're capable of, and it's an awful thing to go through. But I mean, everyone's experiences is different. This is just mine, and when you mix those two things, I think when you mix things, and they all go hand in hand. When you mix blushing and anxiety and depersonalization all in the same thing, and you deal with that at the same time, and it's like, fuck, dude, it just kills you. Your nervous system flaring up, and your mind's going crazy, and you're red and you're sweating and you're nervous, and it's like all this and that. But like I said, I used to have dreams, lots of sleep paralysis, and one was about an alien abduction, a long time ago, and when I lived in the country, and I mean, I woke up and I was totally stuck, and I saw these four beings, like grays above me, and their black eyes, and it was terrifying, absolutely fucking terrifying. Couldn't talk, I couldn't speak. I just kept trying to say Jesus, and I'm not a super, by the book religious person. I don't believe in per se like what the Bible says as truth. I have my own interpretation of things, and I definitely believe in God, and but that was the first thing that came to mind. And I tried to say it and I couldn't, and I mean, I think that's honestly kind of where my depersonalization started too, and dealt with abuse and this and that, and I just broke. And after that dream too, I saw my fear straight up, just pure, like fear I've never experienced. And after that, everything kind of went downhill. And I started abusing drugs, like I said, and that was the kicking point for everything. So that's when I really had to face what I've been hiding for a long time. And I just want to share this because I, don't want people to feel alone, especially with the blushing things. I don't hear a lot of people talking about that, but that was much fucking one of my worst symptoms ever. I hated that shit. Once I finally stopped hating it and started embracing it, things changed for the better. You just gotta, love for yourself, and you just gotta be okay with who you are. And it's like, in our society, we get taught that these aren't normal things, and we got to suppress these feelings. And it's like, it's not okay to be anxious, and it sucks. It does. And I'm not saying people who take stuff are in the wrong. I mean, you find out what works for you and you do it. But for me personally, it's like, I didn't want to rely on something. I was so tired of looking for an answer and trying to numb my pain, and I just stopped, and I just had to face it. I had to face it. And after I did, that helped a lot. Now here I am today, and done a complete 180, and I'm a different person, and it's been really good. But as far as the depersonalization goes, that shit's whack too. I still deal with that to this day. Not as much, but it happens sometimes. It's so uncomfortable. I mean, it's such an abstract, floaty, interdimensional feeling. It's like, everything just doesn't make sense. You don't know why you're here. You don't know why you're experiencing what you're experiencing. If what you're seeing is real, it's like, it's just kind of like feeling like God left. It's like, it's just it's excruciating. It's an extremely difficult feeling, but at the end of the day, I think maybe it's a good thing, because I think we see things how other people would never imagine us to see things. We don't see things as they are. I think we feel so deeply sometimes that it can be a gift, but it's a painful gift. I think we see past a lot of illusions, and I think we see past a lot of surface things. And I think we're special. People that deal with this stuff, especially, they just gotta get over the fact that they're scared. And that's one of the hardest things to do. But we're not alone, and we're in it together as a team, and no matter how scary it gets, things reassure me. If I have an awful depersonalization episode, someone will come by, and it's like, God, and the way things work, God works through people, and people come into your life and they'll comfort you, and with experience as well, as different experiences will happen that comfort me, and it goes back to it, yin and yang, and it's balance, and shit gets scary, and shit gets fun, and happy, and sad, and you just can't have one without the other. And just because it's sad and it's scary, just because your interpretation of that makes it unpleasant. So sometimes it's good to not go anywhere in your head when the experience happens. So when you get really depersonalized, don't think that it's a bad thing. Don't think at all. I don't try to think at all. When it happens, I try to accept it and say, this is how it is, and I don't say a thing in my head, and I just go right through it, and I'm aware of it. I'm aware of it, and I get through it, and it's just that's pretty much all I can do personally to get through it. I don't take any meds currently or anything either. I'm never going to, because I tried to. This is what was brought forth to me. I'm gonna give birth to this shit, and try to make the best out of it and understand what it is, what it's wanting to teach me. The saying in the Gospel of Thomas is, what is inside you, if you give birth to it, it'll save you. And if you don't give birth to it, then it'll destroy you. So I think what you harbor inside you can be a lot more destructive than just being okay with it and, giving it to the world. But, it's good for everybody to just vent and express themselves, and that's why, kind of make this video too. It's helpful to me personally, so I can, just share my shit too, so hopefully maybe be cool if this helps somebody, and you can share your experiences back, to me. I'm always like to talk to people and, share, so